Michigan 84, Illinois 70, outright Big Ten champs in the State Farm Center in Champaign on Merez Johnson Jr. return night. Before we get into all of this, Cart, do you mind if I do one thing?
It's not a Tinker Read, is it?
I think it's time to celebrate, my dog.
Oh my
I
God.
think it's time to sell. Where did the strobe lights come from? What? What?
So we have lights, a net, a banner, an LJ Kase jersey. What, anything else I'm missing? I want to make sure I give everything its flowers right
About
now.
it. It's about it. Just this great
Nope.
Tinker coffee next to me. This recap is brought to you by Tinker. This outright Big Ten championship is brought to you by Tinker. TinkerCoffee.com. Enter promo code Big Ten Champs. Get nothing off. Enter promo code Sleepers. Get 15% off your first order. 15% discount? That's what Illinois thought it was worth to let Merez Johnson walk for a 15% discount to get some Serbians that they claimed would help them win championships. It's insanity, cartel, and more.
Yeah, you could also set up a recurring order for 25% off, which is what Illinois thought their defense would be better without Barrett. No, I don't even know how to do that like you, but you really got me going right there. I really want to follow up. But once you do get that Tinker and you like it, you set up that recurring order. You get it to your doorstep, 25% off. Use promo code Sleepers. Shout out to the good folks over at Tinker Coffee, tinkercoffee.com. Go check out all the options.
It was a pretty great me impression. I won't be insufferable for all of this, I think. How long is acceptable to be insufferable on?
You know what? We don't, where I come from, we don't tell people how to celebrate their wins.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's been a while, man. It's been almost a
It,
full calendar year since I hung one of these. It's crazy. Uh,
yeah.
we did say save the Big Ten, and then we just rattled off back-to-back outright championships at Brad Underwood and Matt Painter's expense. Like it was nothing.
Yeah, well, to me, this was it. We did it. Mission complete. Now, if we want to get greedy, if we do want to get greedy, I must now secure the Big Ten tournament championship.
That actually would bring it full circle. I think I am rooting for this.
I think that would bring it completely full circle.
Who am I kidding? No, I'm not. I want that for me too. But like, if it's not me, it might as well be you. Okay, I was in attendance for this. Dion was with me. Dion is traveling back to California right now, so we are welcoming Cart back to the program. Hello, Cart. Where were you watching this game, and what was your perception of what unfolded?
So first of all, there was legit excitement from my end to watch this basketball game, just given everything I was seeing around it. I mean, the Orange Crush was out there at midnight. They had some people doing like, man on boots on the ground hits. I saw Kinley out there. I saw Raphael Davis out there talking to the Crush. Coleman Hawkins is buying pizza for them, I believe. Like there was a lot of excitement and chatter around this game. It was two elite teams in the Big Ten, two teams that people are picking from the Big Ten that had the best chance to win a national championship. Merez Johnson. I mean, all the narratives and everything were there on top of it supposedly going to be an elite basketball game. Notice I threw supposedly in there, and this is credit to y'all. Y'all beat their ass. That's the thing. Y'all physically dominated them. Y'all whooped them boys. They had nothing for it. You sucked the life out of State Farm Center. I don't want to hear anybody complaining about Orange Crush's energy in this basketball game. There was no reason for them to get energy. And that's not to say this was just a complete dog walking blowout, but the level of composure and maybe it was just front court dominance from Michigan just made it tough to even get into that basketball game. Even moments when Illinois was able to figure some things out. It was a Mara dunk. It was a Merez putback. It was a Mara dish to Yaxel. It was Yaxel picking up Keaton full court. It was just a really, really complete kind of caliber level difference in that basketball game, which, to be honest with you, I had Michigan, I bet on Michigan to win this game, so thank you for that. But I expected the game to, I guess, to be a little bit more contested, maybe a little bit more tightly battled, but I mean I saw two teams that there's a difference between those. Those are two teams on different tiers.
Yeah, I mean, I think
And sorry, I want to do this. that's not taking away anything from Illinois. I think Illinois is really good. I just think that when Michigan does plays like this, it's just they're different, bro. It's a different front court to handle when you got Yaxel, Merez, and Mara all at the same time doing what they're doing. It's and it shows itself even more when you have a front court who's not ready for the challenge in Illinois, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Yeah, I think at the risk of just I don't know, being overly it's hard because if I try to accurately analyze this Michigan team, I feel like I'm coming across as like a cocky, arrogant douchebag, but that's like how good they are. Like I don't we're how many games in? 29 games in? They might go 19-1 in this Big Ten. Like, honestly, this is how good they are. And I don't think this game is an indictment on Illinois. I think Illinois is the fifth or sixth best team in the country. Now, they also have some problems rearing their ugly head right now that didn't appear to be there 3 weeks ago. And we should talk about those, and that's scary. But I think Michigan exposes your biggest insecurities as a basketball team. And they just relentlessly physically force their will. And you better have an answer. And the only team that has is Duke. And I mean, credit to Wisconsin, whose guards just bombed you from three. That was the formula for Illinois. We said it in the pregame, right? The formula was Illinois was going to have to bomb them from three. And
Mm.
they tried. They shot 29 threes. They just didn't go in. And I think if you play this game again, there is an outcome where Illinois wins or an outcome where it's closer, where Illinois just makes more of their threes. I felt that in real time. I felt Michigan was fortunate in real time that Illinois wasn't hitting some shots, but they also guarded them really well. I mean, this is the second best defense in the sport. It's elite on that end. And this was elite on elite. We said elite offense beats elite defense. Not tonight, not in Champaign. And there were a couple individuals that set the tone for that. So we'll get to all of it here. We can start to go player by player, but I think we should start with the obvious. This was Merez Johnson's night.
Hmm.
This was emotionally the climax of the entire Big Ten season. I think we circled this in July as the day of the season. I just think everybody involved has been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting months for what is going to happen when Merez comes back to Illinois. And the stakes of this game had fluctuated. It had changed. It had gone from like, that's going to be crazy to like, oh my God, that might be for the championship to, oh my God, Michigan could clinch the championship. How are they going to approach this? And I can tell you this from being in the arena. I told some stories on the full podcast episode on Monday for Sleepers Pod. That was a venomous arena to walk into from Merez. I mean, I love State Farm. I love Illinois fans. I love the Orange Crush. I have a great time there. It's one of the best game day experiences you can find. And it was. I mean, there were students camped out overnight. It was lines out the door. It was a sellout. And the entire, I don't know, like it wasn't just anti-Michigan. It was anti-Merez. You had the full row in the front of the Orange Crush that had Merck greater than Merez painted on their chest. You had Merez photoshops with a clown on his face. Merez Michigan uniform with traitor as the letters. They did a great job. The crowd did a great job. But they made this all about Merez. And it was going to come down to how does he respond? How does the team respond? Maybe how does Illinois' replacements respond? And I think the reality of this game, for anyone that paid attention, was Merez was the best front court player on the court. I think you could argue he was the best player in the game. He got a Ken Pom MVP in 33 minutes, finished with 19 and 11, hit 6 of 8 free throws, hit 1 of 2 threes. He was brilliant, and he imposed his will from start to finish. Meanwhile, you look across from him, his main matchup was Merck to start the game, but he spent a lot of time matched up with Tomislav Ivisic in this game. Tommy was a disaster. I mean, this was one of the worst games I've ever seen from Tomislav. 7 points, 4 rebounds. He was 1 for 6 from three. He was 3 for 10 from the field overall. I mean, you look at what Michigan did at the rim in this game. It was everybody. It wasn't just Merez punking at the rim. It was everybody on Michigan just got layup lines at the rim with Tomislav watching with zero resistance. And credit to Merck. I thought Merck battled and got a double-double in his own right. You know that Merck's a competitor, and I think Merck showed up ready for the emotions of the night. But even Merck's 12 and 10 felt like it paled in comparison to Merez's 19 and 11. So what did you see from that? And am I over exaggerating it to just make the story of this game? It was Merez night, but Merez answered the bell.
No, I think that I mean, I feel like you stated it pretty well on what it was. It was just, um, you were able, there was a caliber difference in the front court. It was just that also this caliber difference is a little bit different because of everything surrounding. Like, you're like, oh, that front court's different than mine. They're better than mine. Also, that guy on that front court was mine. Like,
Yeah.
that, it's got to sting a little bit, right? Like, if I'm an Illinois fan, that really has to sting because it also wasn't just Merez, like, going at Big T. It was everyone. Like Mara was destroying Big T. The moment that Big T somehow ended up on Yaxel, Yaxel destroyed him. I mean, even early on in this game, Yaxel like caught Big T on the wing and hit him with like a jab, one dribble, spin. He smoked the layup, but like Big T just could he can't move his feet. He's too slow. He's too slow, and the fact of the matter is Big T, more so than Big Z, but Big T is very, am I hitting my threes dependent? And that is a 32% three-point shooter and a non-defender. How many rebounds did he have in this game? I'm not even going to look. Before I pull up the box score, I'm going to guess he had three.
At four.
That's honestly good. I didn't think he would get there.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. It sucked the air out of the
And
building.
and sorry, I'm doing a lot of that today. Paid too, by the way. That's a lot of cheddar you got in that front court.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it sucked the air out of the building in two ways. It sucked the air out of the building because Merez made some good plays early. And, again, when the ball tips, you don't know what's going to happen. It was theoretically possible that this is a Tommy game and he sprays threes and Merez can't rise to the moment. Like that was possible. It was an outcome that could have happened. And I thought early in the game, Merez set the tone, had a couple good physical plays early where it was like, okay, he's ready for this. And Illinois had a lead for the first 10 minutes of this game, too. We can talk about that. But, I just think as he responded, he hit two free throws. He went to the line with the line crowd going crazy and hit both. That was a big moment where it was like, okay, he's not spooked right now. Then he hits the three later in the first half. It's like, oh my God, he's doing everything right now. Then you just watch Tommy progressively early. Tommy made a bunch of bad plays early. Tommy missed all his jumpers, and I almost thought the moment got to Tommy, and it never got to Merez. And it's crazy. If I was an Illinois fan, it absolutely would gut me. And I think credit to Illinois fans, most of them are being upfront about this. Like, that was gutting. If you're an Illinois fan that had Merez and thought this was the right move, or even if you didn't think it was the right move, you were just devastated he left and wanted payback. You didn't get payback. So, look, I have done my best as we've gone through this in the last year to try and lay out why I think we got here. My personal interpretation of all of this, Merez and Tommy have clearly not liked each other. And if Merez was signed to go back to Illinois, to me, the moment Illinois starts, well, hey, we're going to bring Big Z in. And hey, Tommy's our star in the front court. We're going five out, all these things. To me, you had to make a choice. Do you want to build around that guy or do you want to build around that guy? It's just and Illinois probably thought they could build around both. Then they misread the situation. If they thought they could keep both happy and build around both, clearly. You chose the wrong guy. And even if you want to say it wasn't a choice, your choices led to this outcome. And I think back to that moment in the summer. He got shit for it at the time. Posted hella clips of him punking Tommy. I mean, the whole family was on this. Like, I want the world to see that I destroyed that dude. And what I watched in this game looked an awful lot like the practice clips. I mean, just flat out. I'm sure there have been moments Tommy's hit his threes, but I think you could line those two up against each other 100 times. Watch what happens. Merez ain't going to stop doing what Merez did because Merez never stops. Merez is relentless. Merez is the identity of this all-time great Michigan team. He's the heart of it. And Illinois had that and said, no, 5 out. Give me the Balkan jumpsuits. This is a Chicago kid, by the way. It's a Chicago kid. And they chose to build a different culture. That's got to be tough to swallow, Cart.
Yeah, and look, you know what? From their side, they got what they wanted. That's what they wanted. They got the number one most efficient offense in the country. Um, that's they got what they wanted. So I guess you know what I'm saying. You make your bed, you got to lay in it. Just have a hard time not. I'm not even what is it, Monday morning court armchair, whatever you want to call, whatever phrase that is, because if anybody, like, this, G, I'll victory lap this right here. I've been saying this about Big T for a long time,
Yeah.
even last year. Like, it's very like, am I hitting my threes dependent? We watched him. We knew this before Merez posted the clips. There was astronomical things about this kid getting destroyed
Right.
by a lot of people, while also too being unavailable. Tonsils, ankle, mono. Like, I'm not even saying that's his fault, but I'm just saying, like, that's a part of it. Conditioning issues on top of the fact that even when he's at full strength, he's slow. How many times earlier on this year did we talk about this Illinois team and be like, one thing you might have to look out for is like their foot speed is kind of slow. They looked slow in this game.
Right.
They look slow and physically outmatched.
Right. And I think the bottom line is this. Tommy is, what is he, 22-year-old former pro
Yeah.
who came back talking about this is my
This is
final
my
year.
this is my final year.
I'm coming back for one more year, get the paycheck, and then I'm a pro. And now we're already pivoting toward, well, Illinois wants to bring him back again next year. I mean, I think you're seeing this around the sport, respectfully. I think you are seeing this around the sport and have seen it for years, Cart. Even compare him to the guy we compared Tommy to at his best last year, skill set wise, kind of Hunter Dickinson-y,
Hmm.
right? Like at Tommy's best, I think he's been Hunter Dickinson like. Hunter Dickinson, a player in the NIL era.
Disrespectful to Hunter Dickinson, by the
It
way.
is.
You
Hunter's
could you,
better.
you could you could throw it in the post to Hunter and be like, "Go score." You
Hunter's
cannot
way
do that
better.
with Tommy.
Hunter was more physical too. Everything about Hunter was better. But I'm just comparing the situation to this. As the NIL era dragged on, Cart, Hunter, I think, got complacent, if that makes sense. Right?
Hmm.
This would not be the first time that we have seen a 22-year-old that's in college basketball for the paycheck stagnate.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that's what's happening with Tommy, but this guy was an all Big Ten caliber player a year ago who has not been that productive this year. And you can say Illinois is better and point to other things. I don't know that the growth has necessarily been there the way you paid for it to be. Tommy was the really outside of Andre, who was like, go get him. Tommy was the biggest guy we're bringing back. We expect stardom. And this was a big moment where you need the guy you expected stardom from to be a star. And he was anything but. Now you flip that again, Merez. Every time Merez steps on the court, it feels like he's playing for a paycheck. He's certainly playing for a paycheck, but he's playing to like go get a paycheck, right? He's playing to like work his way up the first round mock draft boards, and he is right now. He's probably going to be taken in the first round of this June's NBA draft. So, man, I don't know what to say other than, again, I'm a Michigan fan doing this recap, but like, God, I'm thankful it went the way it did for my team. And if I
Hmm.
was on the other side, it would be an all-timer what if for me that would just be impossibly hard to stomach. And you're right. They're the number one offense. They've been great for the majority of the season. They're not going to be the champions of this league because of that way that shook up, period. And I think, you know, again, people are going to say small sample size. They're right. It is a super small sample size in terms of three-point shooting. But I look at this. Merez is shooting better from the free throw line than Tommy on really high volume. Merez is making a higher percentage of his threes than Tommy this year. I mean, all these things about what Merez can't do. The ball's going in better than the guy who was supposed to do it all. So, like, at a certain point, like you said, he's supposed to be this great shooter. He's below 70% from the free throw line. He's 33% from three. And that guy's just a shooter 7-footer who doesn't make his shots. Like it's just baffling to me. And I don't know. I don't know that that's changeable, right? This is what Illinois' front court is. Like when they, God forbid, they're in the NCAA tournament, they're in an Elite Eight game against Florida or Duke or Arizona. Their only path forward is going to be Tommy hit his threes, right?
Well, even as a team too, though,
As a team.
as a team, because that's that it's I feel like sometimes people throw it away. They're like, oh, well, they got to bomb threes to win. Well, you know what? They can have the capability to do that. It's just it's tough if that's what you need to depend on. If you need to depend on bombing threes, that can get a little bit it can get a little bit dicey. But I mean, shit, a bigger picture, longer conversation here. I can see a world where Illinois is in the Final Four because they get hot for 5 games and they don't miss. And when they don't miss, it's a tough check, right? That's five out. That's Merck hitting threes. That's Big T hitting threes. Keaton's hitting his threes. They gotta figure out something with Kylan, but like Jake Davis can hit threes. He hit a couple like early ones in this game. You just gotta you gotta hit them against, especially against teams like this with the front courts like this. But just in general, you got to be able to do it because Illinois' offense it's so good because they mismatch hunt. Tough to do that when there's not mismatches because the one mismatch, the one that Dusty himself alluded to, if his superstar is gonna be, State Farm. He spent however many minutes he was on the court locked in defensively. So like, how do you hunt mismatches? What's the mismatch?
Yeah, so let's flip to Yaxel. Now, you and I have done 29 games of this. I think there's been points in the season as little as a week ago that we have kind of gone down the conversation path of does Michigan just get up for big games? Do they just sleepwalk in the non-big games? Like what is this? Why are some of their worst performances in the quietest nights? And it seems like outside of the Duke game, all their great performances have been in games like this. Um, as far as Yaxel Lendeberg is concerned, that's a huge yes. I don't know about everybody else on the team, but as far as Yaxel is concerned, the intensity, the effort, the focus that he brought to this game and brought to the Breslin Center and brought to Mackey Arena was on a different level than Minnesota and Northwestern and Penn State and go down the line. Now, I pray this is the Yaxel that shows up to the NCAA tournament, and I pray it happens in the Big Ten tournament because I'd love another banner there too. Um, but this guy, as much as Merez set the tone, Yaxel set the tone. I mean, picking up Keaton Wagler full court from the first possession to the last possession. And I listened to Dusty May's post game and even Brad Underwood's post game. Brad was very complimentary of Michigan. It was all class from him. Would expect nothing less from my former father. Yaxel, I think, was the primary reason Michigan's defense was so successful in this game. It took Keaton 20 minutes to even find his footing. And then number two, we've talked about how Yaxel, even at his best defensively, can kind of blow an assignment, right? In the Duke game, he was kind of all over the place, even though he was flying around. In this game, he had that happen quite a bit. But oddly enough, what it did against Illinois' just find the mismatch scheme, it confused them. Because, like, for 3 straight possessions, Yaxel wouldn't switch off of Keaton. And then all of a sudden he would. And Michigan would just sort of scramble and recover like this amoeba that's just like, you know what, like, we're good enough to figure it out. And we'll cover for Yax. And it kept Illinois off balance because Illinois is so meticulous about like find the thing that works and just spam it. And I thought they were really off balance in this game. I thought as it wore on, like they really couldn't solve it because they couldn't tell what Yaxel was going to do. And his unpredictability was his biggest thing, other than just the intensity of picking up Keaton full court.
Yeah, I just thought that he did a good job of too using to what his advantage is over Keaton. The fact that Yaxel's a grown man. Yaxel is 6'10", 260, whatever he is. I don't know. He's big fella, 23 years old, and he's staring down Keaton Wagler, who's 18, baby faced, 6'6", 6'11", according to you. And just, you know what, not physically able to deal with that yet. He felt him all game. I might have missed it. I really only remember one actual Yaxel breakdown. It was probably off that inbounds pass. That's it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. It was.
So
And that is also
and that's a game after watching him stack about 27 straight defensive breakdowns.
well, and those the fact that it really was only one memorable breakdown is a credit to the other Michigan defenders who I thought help side kind of were great at scrambling and recovering and switching in this game when needed. But it really, you know how offensively, like a guy's hot and it'll kind of just be like, you know, I'll give him the ball, get out of his way. Like let him freelance. That's Illinois offense, right? When Keaton's going, give him the ball, get out of his way, let him work. Michigan did that with Yaxel defensively in this game. They
Mm,
said, you know what, stick the best player, set the tone, pick him up, make him feel you every single possession. And then when you get in the half court, kind of like trust your gut and make crazy fly around plays. Like if
mm,
you want to get into his shit and not switch, do it. Just talk. If you want to go under and switch and tell somebody else to pick it up, do it. Like they really let Yaxel freelance defensively in this game. And I thought it made him unbelievably unpredictable. And I think a defense with this many athletes, like that's the biggest thing when you're trying to just at a high level, what's going on in this game in front of you. Michigan had the athletic advantage everywhere. Everywhere. And this is an Illinois team, mind you, I don't want to downplay this or discredit them whatsoever. They're first in the country in average height. They are literally the biggest team in the sport. Like positional size, they are even bigger than Michigan. And I get that sounds crazy when they go Yaxel, Merez, Mara, but like their guards are 6'6", dude. Like Illinois is huge. The shooters that come in on this team are 6'9". And they felt like the smaller team because they have no athletes. None anywhere. And that matters against a team like Michigan that is just plus athletes at every single spot. They used that to their advantage, and Yaxel was the biggest reason why. On the flip side, we're supposed to keep going down the list with Michigan, but I feel like this is lumped into Yaxel's performance. Man, for Keaton, on a night where I thought Keaton struggled,
hmm
he finishes with 23 and 4 and 3 in 37 minutes. I honestly was really impressed with that output. He ended up 7 for 17, 3 for 6 from 3. That's obviously not his best night. And if Illinois is going to beat Michigan, if they play in the Big Ten tournament or in the NCAA tournament, they're going to need better than this from Keaton. But in a lot of ways, in real time, it felt like a disaster Keaton night. And then I look up at the end, it's like, damn, he had a relatively efficient 23 still. That guy is amazing.
Yeah, well, he picked it up in the second half. In the
Yeah.
second half alone, he had 17 points. He was 5 of 11 from the field. Um, I thought that he made some adjustments as well as his finishing across, like around the basket a little bit, making a couple passes. I mean, it was a tough go for Keaton. Just given the fact that Yaxel was guarding him, and then you drive past, and it's Marez, right? And you also have guys not punishing Michigan for helping. So like your stretch bigs aren't hitting shots. So it's like you can just help and make sure Keaton doesn't get to the basket. Question for you. Did you think that they should have did less ball screen stuff with Keaton?
I thought the mismatch watching it in real time, at least until garbage time late, it felt like the mismatch was murk.
Mm,
It felt like especially if Michigan was going to spend Yaxel on Keaton the whole game.
yeah. They did to be honest with you, they waited too long to even go to Merck in those spots.
Yeah.
And there was a couple possessions too where they just didn't throw it into Merck.
Yeah, to me in real time, and I called this out in the preview too, it felt like the mismatch was getting Merck switched on to Michigan guards.
Mm,
But at the same time, Merck had 2 turnovers to only 2 assists. So, I don't know that there was like a clear this is working. Keaton
mm.
had stretches where it worked. Merck had stretches where it worked. I thought Kylan had a good game, but that's like this is an offense that's predicated entirely on find what works and keep doing it. It didn't feel like they found what worked until too late, right? You find what worked when you're down 14 with 10 minutes left. That's different than finding it early in the game, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, all right, other Michigan things. Feel like third off the list has to be Mara. And in the preview, biggest thing I got wrong, I said Mara was worse than Tomislav. That looks foolish in hindsight. Sitting in my seat in the upper deck of State Farm Center here, I tweeted not a Mara game, not a Mara game, not a Mara game, because he did his drop coverage got picked apart and he switched on to Keaton and Keaton got going. Keaton hit his first big shot early. And there were just like two defensive miscues for Mara. And at that point, remember the pass he made, right?
Yeah.
The just
Hmm.
chuck it full court.
Yeah.
Those three things happened in a row to start the game. And at that point, I'm just like, I don't know, reinforcing my pregame belief that Mara won't be able to play. Hand up looks really, really stupid. He ended up just dominating, absolutely dominating. Again, the front court that is the biggest in the sport just looked small compared to Adai. And he finished with 19 points on 9 shot attempts. Card, maybe the most miraculous thing, he went 3 for 3 from the free throw line. He had
Hmm.
2 blocks. He's just, when he's not in foul trouble and he's not making negative play, he's a menace. Like,
Yeah, and they
I don't
just
know.
they just ate every like just pick and roll lobs for dunks, finishes, threw it to him in the post a couple times, just made a move. They're just too small, made the pass, like they're just not that Mara, he can dominate games. It's not necessarily like dominate and watch it physically. I felt like Mara physically dominated this game, and maybe that's an indication of Illinois' front court, but the dude's just super skilled, super big, and they couldn't do it. I mean, they showed. I don't know if you saw this or not, but it was they flipped to like the little coaches huddle, like where you can hear them at the break, and Brad is just absolutely chewing Illinois' bigs out, like asking if you're going to stop them from dunking on these pick and rolls. Is someone going to step up? And they did not.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when he hit that like little shimmy baseline hook, it's like, okay, he's feeling himself. Like, that's about as comfortable as Mara's been all season. And a big part of his offensive production this game, too, is courtesy of Cadau. I do want to make sure we talk about that because, good Lord, some of those passes from Cadau are just put on a platter, rise up and bang, poster. I don't know how many point guards in the country can make that pass even. And like we talk so much in the offseason about like these enigmatic guys who have had these wild swings in their careers. I think both of them left their previous stop scapegoated at minimum, or maybe North Carolina, UCLA wanted these guys back, but at minimum, it was like that guy was a huge part of why we weren't very good, and they're a perfect fit for each other. I mean, Merez and Yaxel aside, these two, just Cadau and Mara, are a perfect fit for each other. Like Cadau has never played with a lob threat like that. Mara has never played with a passer like that. It is not a coincidence that they suddenly look like the best versions of themselves playing with each other, and they picked it apart, I thought.
Yeah, point guards that have lob finishing good bigs, two thumbs up. I could
Yeah.
not to bring my team into this, but I've watched a lot of years of non-finishing, non-catching bigs with point guards. It's a luxury to be able to if you're Elliot Cadell, you're like, I'm gonna put it on, he's gonna catch it and finish it.
Yeah.
Like that means something.
Yep. Speaking of Cadau, this box score wise was not his loudest game. He had foul trouble as well, 4 fouls in 26 minutes, but finished with 7 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. He was 0 for 3 from three. That was a bummer. I think he can hit those. I think, man, he's kind of gone back and forth, right? I want to be like, should we be worried about his jumper at this point? But
Mm.
sandwiched in between the Duke and Illinois games where he couldn't make anything, he was 3 for 7 against Minnesota and 3 for 5 against Purdue.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm worried about his jumper, but it's a lot
I'm
more
not.
fun when it goes in.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I don't think you should be worried about it. Did you feel like this was even with like the five because it was 5 assists and no turnovers, right?
Yeah.
And they were honestly, I feel like all 5 assists were loud. At the same time, it was like the full Elliot Cadeau experience. He's just such a funny player. Like like the early fouls on, like when he was just like getting super like someone was trying to get super physical with him and he's just like Elliott's just not going. That's the thing. He's got that dickhead gene,
Yeah.
so he's not going. And then at the end of this, that dunk attempt was hilarious.
I adored the dunk attempt.
It
It's
was the minute I saw him turn the corner, I'm like, this little dickhead's gonna try to dunk this ball, isn't he?
People know that I am not an Elliott guy historically. I might be now because that dunk attempt was one of the most disrespectfully hilarious things I have ever seen.
He almost hurt himself and whoever tried to block him. Like
I just
it was
absolutely it almost went in. I gotta be honest. Like I adored it. Yeah, I his passes tomorrow were brilliant. I thought he set the tone early as much as we're talking about Yaxel defensively, because don't forget there was a 10-minute stretch here where Illinois led. They were up 16-11 with like 12 minutes left in the first half. It ends up looking like a comfortable Michigan win. It was in the second half, but this was not like Purdue or Michigan State where Michigan was up 15 before you could blink, right? They had to work to extend this by the 25th minute in this game. And early in the game, when Illinois did have some chance to create some separation, I thought Cadau had some tough buckets, like got to the paint and finished amongst the trees. Again, this entire court outside of Kylan and Elliott was just a bunch of 6'7" and bigger guys.
and can we call him something besides trees?
Yeah, which they be.
I don't know. Like what's something like that's well, I was gonna say something big for no reason. It could just be me. But like what's something else?
I don't
Like
know.
you just look at it and you're like, it's just tall, but why is it tall?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll
I'll
let you work
workshop.
on that. Yeah, we
I'll
can go into
workshop.
that. But
Respect
uh,
respect actual trees.
bottom line for me with Cadau, much like Yaxel, I think he's a gamer. I think they like say what you want about their immaturity and all these things. They also love to compete pretty clearly. And some of Cadau's brightest moments this year have been the Purdue game, the Michigan State game. I wouldn't call this his best game, but he had a lot of bright moments in this game that led to extending the lead. And I think people still predict the downfall of this Michigan team will be point guard related. Kaysen's injury pours gasoline on that. It's going to require Cadau to be consistent for more than we've
Yeah,
thought.
but also at the same time, like I don't know, like I guess you just keep it's really just keeping the head about the turnovers because like this wasn't like I think he had like a solid game. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't anything crazy, but if the front court's gonna do this and you get other stuff, and also Elliot Cadeau's a part of what y'all do defensively, does it? I mean, he didn't have some barn burner of a game in this one, and y'all beat a team that I think could be in the Final Four at their
Yeah.
crib.
But
So
Michigan's built in a way they don't need Cadau to do everything. They just benefit off what he's great at. And
starts with Yaxel.
yeah, that's the
Well, see,
theory.
yeah, because I just think that when Yaxel's on this, and Yaxel's usually on this in his biggest games, it's just, I think he sets the tone defensively. I think that he realizes that he can be super effective on the glass. I feel like a lot of his games where he disappears a little bit. I feel like he doesn't attack the glass. He floats a little bit. Um, it sets the tone because
Yeah.
Merez is gonna do what Merez does, and then you get Yaxel doing it at the same time. I mean, add up what Michigan's front court did in this game.
Right.
19, 19, 16, 5 boards, 11 boards, 7 boards. Between the three, they had 7 assists. Like
Yeah.
I mean, those three had damn near as many assists as Illinois had the whole game.
We did call this out in the preview too. A defense as passive as Illinois is not going to get to Cadau. Right? If you do believe part of the way to beat Michigan is get to Cadau,
Hmm.
a team that puts no ball pressure on anyone ever, doesn't want to force turnovers, just wants to be big, sag, and not foul. Like it's not a surprise Cadau didn't turn it over once in this game.
Right,
He got to pick
right.
them apart, and he's one of the best passers in the country.
Hmm.
You compare it to Illinois' point guard again, who I thought was great, but Wagler 4 turnovers, Cadau 0. That's part of this game. It really is. And credit to Ellie for, I think, a good performance. Let me rattle off quick hitters on all these other guys. I don't necessarily need commentary from you in depth here unless you want to jump in on any of them. Quiet Namari Knight. Going to be curious what his role becomes without Kaysen now. He is the starting shooting guard, and it's going nowhere. But I don't think they want him playing more than 17 minutes a game, really, right now. He's just not the defensive asset the rest of the team is, and he's certainly less dynamic offensively than McKennie. He did have a huge shot. His 1 3-point attempt, I thought, was early and mattered. It was when the game was still up for debate, and it was an answer. Illinois had a big bucket to extend a lead, and Namari, before he could blink, hit a three in transition. So that's what I need from Namari right now. Just pick your spots, have 1 to 2 moments a game, and don't make mistakes. And he delivered. Trey McKennie, 2 for 6, 2 turnovers to 0 assists in 22 minutes, 2 for 4 from three. His 2 threes were huge. They were basically
Mhm.
the like put a nail in Illinois shots of the game. Um,
Yeah.
but
Were
I,
they
I
second? Were they second chance threes if I remember correctly too?
so the first possession he airballed, and then
Yeah.
Michigan got it back, and it came back to him in zero hesitation. He let it fly, and he hit the second one. I
Hmm.
think that is a good example of what I love about Trey. He's pretty fearless. He kind of doesn't give a f. Like, okay, I missed, don't care, give it back, I'm shooting. Um, he's as much as Cadau. Pressure's on. Because in an LJ Kase-less world, I need better than 2 for 6 with 2 turnovers from Trey in 22 minutes. I did look at Dion, and I there was a moment in this game I'm like, man, Trey's not ready right now. I'm worried about Trey. And we're talking about all these guys who have been big game guys. Trey stunk against Duke. And I thought Trey was quiet against Illinois until the two daggers, and now we can put a smile on and just remember the two daggers. But um, big moment for Trey in this point in the season. They're going to need him to step up and really be productive every single night, I think.
Yeah, and here's the thing that I think you should feel good about, and Michigan fans should feel good about. I think Trey, I think he'll be ready for that.
Do you?
Yeah, like I would feel a lot worse if you know what you want me? Can I do this to you? Can I extend this olive branch to you real quick here?
Please.
This is my you're an outright champ gift to you. So please accept this. I would feel a lot worse if my ninth guy was a McDonald's All-American. There you go.
Thank
There
you.
you go. There you go.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Ninth guy's about to become the sixth guy. We'll see if that changes anything here. But
So
no,
who's the ninth guy now? Winners Grady, top 50 kid.
Winter's Grady, yeah. There is a world here. This is the optimist in me talking. There's a world here where McKennie just plays 30 minutes a game down the stretch. He knows it's coming, and somehow, some way that leads to the best version of himself. I think we have seen that before with guys where they know, like, oh, you know what, I'm getting a bigger role. Cool, I'm ready for that. We'll see. It's going to have to happen between him and Cadau and Namari. It's going to have to happen because it's not going to come from Roddy Gale. Roddy Gale, this is the biggest thing for me. 10 minutes in this game, even with Kaysen's injury issues. I mean, Dusty's basically gone entirely away from this version of Roddy. And it's the right call. It's the right call. Roddy is struggling as bad as I've ever seen Roddy struggle. And that says something because Roddy really struggled last year. But even as Roddy really struggled from three last year, I thought he found ways to impact the game, slashing, finishing at the rim, defensively. He's not right now. He's a mess everywhere right now. He's not
Yeah.
confident. His shots around the rim look forced. He clearly doesn't want to shoot. On a team this good, you can't play it. On a team that isn't this good, you would be playing him through it, begging him to figure it out. On a team this good, you just can't play it. And again, now you add the case and injury to it. We'll see what happens. But any theories, or I guess I don't. Dusty's doing the right thing, I think, phasing him out.
Yeah, and I feel like I mean in this game, didn't it feel too like he moved towards more Cheddar instead of Roddy Gale,
Yeah.
kind of at that wing spot.
Yep.
So I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't doubt that Dusty will just kind of move off if he needs to. But I will say this: that's the one guy that I feel like on this team, and say I don't know what it might be. Maybe it's just a connection of whatever it might be, but like he has a legit love for Roddy. And I'm not even saying this for the wrong reasons, but he's never like I feel like he like there'll be a game where Namari will play after starting like 6 minutes. I can see that happening. I don't think he would do that to Roddy. And
Yeah.
he's gotta and it might be time for that. That's the thing.
Well, I will say this. I think Roddy has proven himself capable of a disaster 2 months and then all of a sudden show up when you need him most. Right? That's what happened last March. He won Michigan an NCAA tournament game last year. He
Hmm.
scored 24 points and hit three threes. Like I I remember it. It happened. It's history at this point. And I'm rooting for that to happen again because I feel for Roddy Gale right now. I think it would be hard to have had the career he's had, ups and downs, and end up on a team this good where you're so clearly the liability guy. And again, he's going to keep getting chances. They're not going to completely go away from him, but at the same time, this is big boy business, and there's a national title to win. And at a certain point, if you are the liability, you need to change that or be phased out. And I hope he responds because nobody wants to see Roddy just phased out of this, but this is a different version of him than the team needs right now. Lastly, and certainly not leastly here, the one terrible news that came out of this from Michigan, my guy, LJ Kase tears his ACL. He's out for the year.
Hmm.
This is absolutely going to impact Michigan's chances to make a Final Four, win a national championship. We'll do a video separate on the channel with our full in-depth thoughts of what the future looks like. Um, you can debate how this happened. I don't think it's overly clear how this happened. I'll tell you what I saw from the stands. He had the sequence where he tips the ball, chases it down, between the legs pass, all this crazy shit. Merez ends up tip slamming it. Soon as that play ended, he's limping. He's limping bad. And he goes back to the bench. At that point, he was on the bench still, from what I saw, and then comes back a few minutes later, re-enters after getting something checked. Looked like he landed wrong or something, and then there was I can't move. And then he was like signaling the bench, I can't move. I tweeted at that point in the game, he limped to the locker room and did not return to the game. He returned from the locker room with a pad on, but he did not return to the game. Now, even watching it in real time, watching him limp to the locker room and how he returned to the bench after this, even though he didn't return, it didn't look like he had a season ending injury. Um, Even, man, I was around the team on the court after the game. LJ was smiling, celebrating, cheesing. Like it did not look like this was over for him. So, I clearly he had a torn ACL. They diagnosed it a day later and now he's out for the year. If I could just personally, I guess, be biased for a moment, that's a tough motherfucker, man. That's a tough motherfucker. LJ Kase is a dog, in my opinion. And I don't know if the initial injury, I don't know if he tore his ACL on the first highlight play. I'm going to choose to believe that's when he did, because that's one of the most badass ways to tear an ACL that I've ever seen. If we want to be real about it too, this is a terrible indictment on Michigan's medical team. Whether he tore it on the first play or whether he had a minor injury that turned into a torn ACL because he re-entered the game, how the hell did he re-enter the game? I mean, that's an all-timer. How did that happen for me right now? And we'll speak more on it elsewhere, but it's going to matter losing him. He's been brilliant. He's been the best three-point shooter on the team for the last month. A lot of people have been calling him the best backup point guard in the country. I don't know if I would go there, even as the biggest LJ believer, but I know this. LJ just gave us a legacy moment on the night that he tore his ACL, and I hope it isn't what ends up preventing Michigan from getting to their goals. Any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think it sucks for LJ, like personally. Like he has been a big part of the success this season. And obviously you guys have been really good and he gets hurt little like and all injuries suck. Injuries definitely suck in this spot. Like you were to March. You were 2 days away from March. Like the postseason is upon us and you lose a guy. It definitely sucks. To your point, I think you said yesterday, if there was a team that could deal with this, it would be y'all, given the depth and other things like that. But you feel for LJ. That's ass. That's very, very ass. There's no other really way to put it. So sucks for him. Definitely sucks for Michigan. But yeah, the bright side, I think there's other people that can step up and other very capable guys, and that's the point of the roster that Dusty May built. This team has a lot of depth, so now it's got to show.
It's also a reality. this is how the sport works. Um, Sometimes it is avoiding attrition. Sometimes it is avoiding adversity. Injuries are real. They affect who wins a national championship most years. And Michigan has been incredibly fortunate to this point in the season. They've really lost no one at all to
Mm.
injury ever. This is a pretty brutal way for the injury bug to bite. But get well, LJ. Excited to see what his future holds. Still, after this injury, hopefully he can be back next season and move from there. All right, to the Illinois side of things, we did Keaton. Do you have any additional Merck thoughts beyond what we did? I really did think Merck was up for the fight in this game. To get a double-double against that Michigan front court, I think speaks to what Merck is. He played 36 minutes in this game, which surprised me when I looked back at it after, because I can tell you this from being in the arena. The minutes Merck wasn't on the court were loud in this game. I mean, Michigan went on a run in the double Levisage no Merck minutes that I think were 4 minutes of this game. So I thought he was good. I thought he did all he could do. Any additional thoughts?
No, I thought Merck was good in this game. Like you said, a double double against this front court is definitely impressive. Um, wasn't too careless with the basketball and two turnovers in 36 minutes. You'll take that. Found myself maybe wanting him to be a little bit more involved given the switching, like we said it earlier, but Merck wasn't an issue in this basketball game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was the Illini Inquirer. I want to say it might have been Werner who post game did like post game grades for everybody. And the
Mm.
way the kind of post game was framed was basically just like the freshmen showed up. Freshmen showed up for this. They showed up ready for war. And Kylan a little bit. Nobody else really did. And I think that's a fair way to frame this game. Like Keaton and Merck weren't perfect. They were not their best, but they were enough to win this game or at least hang in this game, play Michigan even. And they didn't get those contributions from anybody else on the roster, in my opinion.
That's gotta hurt. That's I mean, like how you swallow in the pause. Whoa. In the one of the biggest games of the year, biggest games in a while, my 18 and my 19-year-old showed up
Tough.
against the most physical team in the country.
Yeah, it's tough. But it also speaks to who those two are. Like Keaton and Merck are the hype.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other guys on this team that have gotten the hype. Keaton and Merck deserve the hype. And they lived up to that in this game.
Do I have 7 seconds?
Please.
A Merck and Merez front court would have fed families.
Would have. But they would. That's not, I don't think that's
You
realistic.
don't you don't think it at all?
I think Merck was entirely the Merez backup
Yeah,
plan.
that's very true. That's
Yeah.
very true.
So again, long term, like if they get Merck back next year,
What, but maybe not, man. Uncle Misco. Well, actually, that nope. You know what? That's not true. Let's say they do a world where they tell Tommy, like, you know what? We're gonna we're gonna go all in on Merez because Merck was a Misco guy, right? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So you do Tommy wrong, you probably don't even get Merck.
What did we need to do the Big Z experiment?
No,
What if you keep Merez, do pay him, keep him happy, and try to convince him that him and Tommy work, whatever, and then bring in Merck instead of Z,
I think there's already clips posted by then.
probably. But I don't know. Look, we're past that point.
Right, sorry, Illinois.
I
Seven
still think in the
seconds.
long run, if you get year two of Merck and Merez goes pro, we might look back on this truly as a win-win-win. Illinois year two Merck is going to be a movie. He's going to be amazing. I have no doubt about that. Also, though, like Merck's slow as shit, man. Like that, as
Hmm.
much as I'm like, wow, he was productive in this game. He was a huge part of why they looked so athletically limited.
Hmm.
And I love Merck. I think I'm his biggest non-Illinois fan that you can find. I adore this kid, but he's not an athlete. So I maybe he gets better at that this offseason. He's still really good.
No, we love that though.
Why?
Because if he's an athlete, then he's in the green room next year.
Yeah, he's a lottery pick already. That's right.
So we leverage that.
Right. For sure. Kylan, 1 for 6 from three, 2 for 4 from the free throw line. Those were his problem. He got to the rim a ton. I thought he bullied Elliot Cadau a couple times in transition, which not surprised by that. Finished with 15 points, only 1 rebound, 2 assists to 2 turnovers. Don't feel he was overly noticeable defensively in a way you would hope in this game. What was your breakdown?
Yeah, I thought that obviously, you know, he had some very loud 3-point misses. I'll say that. They were kind of ugly, they were short, didn't look like they really had a chance. I thought he finished well early. The finishing tailed a little bit. 2 for 4 from the free throw line is not good either. Um, And I mean, I guess you can give him credit for the job defensively on the backcourt, but like even at the same time, I didn't come away from this being like Kyle. I didn't come away from this like Kylan was a part of the problem. I definitely think he did more positive things than a lot of others on the team, but also didn't really affect the game the way I thought he could or did or could. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I think he's Kylan. You gotta understand nights like this are part of it. He's a 29% shooter from three a season after he was a 25% shooter from three. Not in any way you cut up the numbers in his 2 years in an Illinois uniform has he hit 30% from three.
What
Conference,
happened?
I don't know.
This he didn't he shoot 40% at Arizona?
38% and 39% in 2 years at Arizona. I mean, one thing that happened is he broke his hand, broke his wrist or whatever, right? That happened. But
But I mean, that was I mean, last year he didn't break his wrist last year.
right, it doesn't explain last year.
Yeah, and he broke his wrist like a month ago. Before that, he wasn't shooting lights out either.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
But
I don't know. In a lot of ways, man, can I give Tyler Underwood some credit for a second?
yeah, sure.
So you're telling me the formula here is a freshman point guard, a freshman power forward that's athletically limited, two shoot only centers shooting 32% from three, a shooting guard with a broken hand shooting 29% from three, and a Stojakovic that we'll get to in a moment. And that is the personnel group that has become the number one offense ever. Like at a certain point, aren't we like, how? It's
Yeah,
just Keaton, but like even dog Keaton's shooting 30% from the floor his last month.
right.
And they're still the number one offense. Like I really don't know how you add it up and explain it other than give Tyler Underwood some credit right now because there's a lot of guys individually not doing their job at the moment.
Yeah, it's efficient. That's what it is. It's efficient, and Keaton's incredible. And
Kind of
Merez.
crazy. Speaking of that Keaton note, are we worried about that?
There is a slight worry about the physicality and maybe not being able to get one without a ball screen. But at the same time, this is the worst version of Keaton Wagler you're going to see.
Okay, I would just say in the 6 game losing streak, I'm pretty sure he's shooting 30% from the floor.
Yeah, but 30, like 7 from three.
Yeah, that's a long ways away from what he was doing when they were winning all these games.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not calling it a wall. I don't feel anyone has like solved him,
I
but
just think I think the scouts out.
right, we thought just wear him down.
Wear him down and be super physical with them.
Yeah, they got to figure that out because if Keaton is gonna be in the 30s overall from the floor, there's not a Final Four run coming.
Yeah.
This is built for him to superstar.
Mm-hmm.
So he hasn't lived up to that in the last 6 games. All right, Andre. I think we're going to do a short on this as well as rumors ablaze here. Let's just talk about his performance. 0 points, 2 shot attempts, 12 minutes against Michigan. 1 rebound, 1 turnover, 2 fouls. It is not an exaggeration to say that is the worst game of Andre Stojakovic's college career. Why did it happen?
because it's over.
That's what you saw?
It's over, and we have found our this year's winner of the Brad Underwood "I Don't Want You Anymore" award.
All right, let's go down that rabbit hole in the short because I think there's a real element of it. I'm also not sure I blame Brad for coming to that conclusion if the events have played out the way I think they have.
Hmm.
But just specifically in this game, just Michigan too athletic, too big, none of his shit works. Is that all it was?
Probably,
Or
I
did you
guess.
are you saying he was checked out even before he stepped foot on the floor? Is that what you saw?
I don't know. I think the one, it feels like the one moment he had, he went for the layup against Mara, and like you would think going up against a guy that's 7'3", best shot blocker in the country, the league, you would maybe, I don't know, go up for the dunk. Maybe he can't because he's a little bit limited with the ankle, or like finish different, or I don't know, don't go up and finish over him. Go like do something else. And I, yeah, I don't know. It feels like he threw Andre in like, here, damn.
Yeah.
Like, okay, go.
Yeah.
Like he's 6'7", Mihajlo Petrovic.
Yeah. I said in the preview they needed a great Andre game to win this game. I felt that way. I still feel that way. I think you run this game back over and over again and tell me Andre's unplayable, I'll be like, okay, they lose. Because he's the only guy on the roster that athletically belongs on a court with Michigan. The problem, he didn't belong on the court with Michigan, right? Like he's literally supposedly this elite athlete, the only guy on Illinois that has that. And his entire superpower arsenal was just negated against a team as athletic and physical and big as Michigan. I was screaming tunnel vision to everyone in my section. Every time he caught the ball, I yelled tunnel vision. And then
Hmm.
he repeatedly just put his head down and tried to drive into traffic because that's what he does. That's the player this is. He doesn't have more than that. He's not a passer. He's not a shooter. He is a tunnel vision downhill bully ball driver. And you can't bully bullies. And Andre found that out in his 12 minutes in this game very quickly. I'm fascinated to see where it heads. Brad is at the podium harping on we need his defense, we need his rebounding. He's an important part of this team. They're not treating him like an important part of the team right now. I'm not sure I blame him for that. Disaster night, and God, I just don't think it's likely to change. What about the shooters? Jake Davis and Benham Rickhouse, 11 points combined between them in 42 minutes. They did go 3 for 6 from three, 4 for 7 combined from the floor. But at Illinois' best, I think you see these guys flying around on the boards. And in this game, Jake Davis had 1 rebound in 23 minutes. Rickhouse 3 rebounds in 19 minutes. They just couldn't hang defensively, I don't think. But
Hmm.
give them credit for making shots. What'd you see?
Yeah, I think that, they had the ability to knock down some threes here. They needed something from those guys. I mean, Jake Davis went 2 for 4. Keaton went 3 for 6. Ben Henriquez 1 for 2. The rest you got 0 for 2 from Big Z, 1 from 6 from Big T, 1 for 6 from Kylan, 1 for 3 from Merck. So yeah, you needed those guys to be able to knock down some shots. But I think when Illinois is at their best, Jake Davis and guys like even Ben Henriquez have a little bit more of a fingerprint on the game, and they just didn't in this one against the physical athlete level that Michigan has.
Yeah, I don't want to minimize these guys because I think they've been a huge part of Illinois' success this season. Ben has largely been like his A outcome, I think, on the year, and Jake Davis has been brilliant. He's in all their best lineups. He's kind of like I don't know if we are going to talk about Andre being phased out. Part of that is Jake Davis earned the role. Like
Hmm.
he showed up and led and did the little things and made shots that Andre didn't. And I do think they deserve a lot of credit for it. I also think the reality here is the way this has played out with more them means that when you run into the best three teams in the country, they're in trouble. Because
Hmm.
exactly what happened in this game will happen against Arizona, will happen against Duke, and will happen against Florida for these two guys. There's
Hmm.
just a caliber difference. I mean, I just flat out, Cart, they made their shots in this game. and they were still unplayable. Imagine if they didn't make their shots. Um, and let's also, uh, I like them both, so I don't even want to go down this path, but I'm going to. Can I be petty?
Hmm.
What did Merez miss out on, Jake? What exactly were you going to show him in this game? Show him that you have a role on a team that you would never have at Michigan, on a team that's actually winning championships? Show him that you're the leader of this team? You, Jake Davis, are the leader of Illinois this year. And you're good, man. You're good. You'll be remembered for creating another good Illinois team, like all the Illinois teams before you. Like, I don't know. It was just so abundantly clear to me the guy who had words from Merez couldn't play in this game. Couldn't play. And he hit his shots, and he still couldn't play. To me, that says something about where this team's at, right? They got the 30th best defense in the country, and the answer they've settled on are two guys that can't defend.
Yeah. Do you think he should have played more in this game?
Jake?
Yeah.
No.
Hmm.
I thought him and Ben were getting abused on the boards, defensively, everything. I thought they were a huge part of why Michigan's offense had so much success. So,
Yeah.
like, are we just going to give him Andre's minutes?
Yeah. I probably would have.
I mean,
At
yeah,
least, at least,
get,
at least get me a three.
get him up to 30 and take away 6 from Andre, maybe. But I just don't, nothing about the way that game played out made me think like Jake Davis was impacting a win for Illinois. It was, if anything, it was like to me, Illinois had 3 guys that belonged on a court with Michigan. They had Keaton, Kylan, and Mert. And then everybody else that was step foot on this floor was getting exposed, in my opinion. And that
Mm-hmm.
applies to the shooter that wanted to run his mouth too,
Mm-hmm.
who I like a lot, by the way, but like a little bit of a false sense of reality there, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Brad's not my dad anymore.
No, you're free.
Feels good. I'm
Yeah.
gonna miss it though, I think.
Yeah. Wait, is this your out? Is this your outro right here?
Pretty much, yeah. Do you have more?
Oh, yeah, I do. I
Okay.
do. I do. Both of the brothers are so incredibly soft. I have never seen anything like it. I feel like we blew past it.
Yeah, go ahead. Give me a moment.
Those two are so disgustingly soft. Lose this game, that's fine. Those front court players are better than you. Your lack of compete, your lack of like wanting to do things, your lack of just like it was one of the softest front court performances I've seen in a long time from anybody. You are like 2 7-foot human beings, and all you want to do is just float and shoot threes and not rebound and miss. No fight, no nothing in this game. No like I just nothing from them. It was just the most mentally and physically soft performance I've seen from a front court in a long time. Actually, maybe not a long time. This is the same thing I saw last year when Julian Reese and Derek Queen came off and broke like 90 points right up in you
Isn't
on
this
hook
the
shots.
isn't this the same thing you see every time they play your front court?
They're just soft, man. They're soft, but hopefully they hit threes. Like you know those like Twitter accounts. It's like the Braden Smith assist tracker. The did the Kings win? Did the Avises just shoot above 40% from three today?
Yeah,
Probably a lot of no's on that because they're both not hitting threes.
32 and 33% from 3 on the year.
Got it. So there's nothing that irks me more than stretch fives that are just like on paper stretch fives. Are they stretch fives because they shoot it from there? Or are they stretch fives because they make it from there?
Yeah.
So you're a stretch five, non-defending, non-shot making, like not even really a passer, don't rebound well, and you can't check any position. Like usually you want a big that can switch. You can't even check the five in front of you.
Yeah.
So and we're talking, and I hate to do this, but like because you could do it with a lot of teams. But I'm looking at some of the highest paid players on this basketball team. Andre was my portal star.
Right.
He was the he's getting a bag. And that's what I got. Big T got a pay bump and I showed others the door. And this is what I get back. And not to mention, one of the higher paid players apparently is just collecting DMPs on a daily basis.
Right. Right.
But with that said, Michigan's really good and they could do this to teams. They could do this to good teams. Like this is what happens when you have really good basketball teams. They make other good basketball teams look bad. It's also just an awful matchup when you have a front court that is as soft as the Visic's are, and it's both of them too, by the way.
Yeah, I think that's the hard part. I think you come out of all these Michigan road wins against the big three Big Ten contenders, right? Michigan, Illinois, Michigan State, all on the road, 3-0 for the Wolverines. I think I came out of all of those feeling terrible about the opponent. And the only one that I feel like I've been right on with that is probably Purdue, right? Purdue has not looked good. But like any concerns about Michigan State coming out of that Michigan game, it's like you've killed all those. Michigan State looks pretty great right now. I tend to think that's where Illinois is going to end up on this. I think Illinois is really good.
Mhm.
I think what they're good at didn't work against Michigan. And I think coming in, hand up, I said Illinois was a nightmare matchup for Michigan. Michigan was a nightmare matchup for Illinois. The unpredictability of the defense, Yaxel's ability, like if there's one guard in the country that you could put on Keaton to frustrate him, it's Yaxel. And no other team has a Yaxel, right? Cam Boozer's not picking Keaton up full court. I don't think Thomas Haug's picking up Keaton full court. Maybe. I don't know. But I don't know. I just think this is more about Michigan to me than it is about Illinois. And I really do believe everything you said about the brothers is true. If Illinois just shoots like 37% from three, this game's a 5-point game.
Hmm.
Like there is a level of this that Michigan is fortunate Illinois didn't make their shots. But I think the reason they didn't make their shots is they were bothered by Michigan's physicality, athleticism, and defense from the jump. So,
From the tip.
and that's gonna happen against teams of this caliber. When you play Arizona or Duke or Florida, it's gonna feel awfully similar, in my opinion. And I think the hope was because of how big they are. I think the hope was Illinois would get in these games and they wouldn't feel like they're played off the
Right.
court. They do.
And here's what it is too. You talk about those front court you're playing. It's it's about two things. Are you big and are you physical?
Yeah,
Illinois is big. They're not physical.
right.
Michigan's big and physical. Arizona's big and physical. Florida's big and physical.
Right.
It's you got to be both. You're just big.
But I do want to say this, man. I don't think any of these criticisms apply to Merck. And
No,
maybe,
they don't. No, no, no. This is very visage coded here.
yeah. And that's where I like it sounds like they want to run it back next year. I'm almost begging them not to. I'm almost begging find an athletic five that can make 32% of his threes and protect the rim that pairs with Merck.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, also last thing here. Of course, this went long. Love this chant though outright. When you look at what Illinois has done all year, when they have gone, and I'm doing this exercise live right now. The thing is, there's not that like it is a great front court year, but when they go up against physical front courts, how do they fare? I guess they haven't really played that many. Like, are we calling UConn a physical front court?
yeah, I think they're physical.
Okay, that was a November game. This was definitely a different team than November.
Tennessee is probably the best data point for this.
Okay, that feels like the Akpara and Akpara carry. Yeah, that's
And
probably the best one.
Tommy was the best player on the floor that game too. He really
Yeah.
was. And he did it inside the arc. He was 5%. So like there's a data point out there where he does well. But I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like I don't know. They beat JT Toppin without Tommy. How
That's,
that
that's
happen? Like
yeah, that's true.
you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Which honestly, in conclusion, is Tommy all that
Oh,
important to this?
also, also they did beat them. They did beat them. I didn't Toppin have 40?
Topping at 35 and 11.
Okay. They did. They
Yeah.
probably banked it. And honestly, that's a good day. They didn't even hit a lot of threes in that game. They were
Yeah.
good from 2-point range.
Yeah.
Andre. They were good from 2-point range because Andre is 11 for 15 from 2-point range. I don't know. I'm doing things here, but Illinois is really good. It's just Michigan is cream of the crop, creme de la creme.
Champ de la champ.
Yeah, you gotta have your best shit. This was not Illinois' best shit.
I think that's a good way to frame this whole Michigan season because Duke had their best shit. I thought Duke played an A-plus game against Michigan and got a
Mm,
5-point win on a neutral. Like that's to me, if Illinois plays their A-plus, they can win this game. They can beat
hmm
Michigan. I'm not necessarily itching to play Illinois again. I'm really not. At the same time, there's just never going to be a moment I'm afraid of Thomas Lavovicic.
No one will ever be.
And you and I did get a lot of shit for calling him soft early in the year. Um, I think some of those accounts that were mad at us have since apologized, so that's cool. But
Yeah, that's fair.
all right, anything else? I think that's it. Shout out to all the fans. Orange Crush was great to me. I had a really fun time in Champaign. Got to meet a lot of people after. Kyle Bauman, who's always on our YouTube channel,
Yeah.
always commenting. Him and his wife pulled up and got to
Hey,
spend like 30 minutes with them at the bar. Really good chats with Kyle. Shout out to Kyle. So yeah, I got nothing else. I hugged Dusty May after this.
hug Dusty May. Met the Johnson family, your new family.
Yeah.
Got a net, got a banner, got an outright on Merez Johnson Jr. night.
It couldn't have gone much better for me and my personal agendas.
Hmm
Oh, have a little Michigan roster building update for you from what I've heard.
Oh, what?
Some rumors that there's return contracts both offered and in place for certain players for next year.
Oh,
Uh-huh. I've
which
heard
ones?
heard some price points around this.
Mm.
I have thoughts.
I'm intrigued to know your thoughts.
We'll talk. Dusty's trying to golden this.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense.
Trying to win a natty and bring the whole front court back,
Mm.
from what I've heard. Sounds hard to do, in my opinion, but
Wait, like, just the 4 or 5.
4-5, yeah, Yaxel.
Okay, I'm over here like because like when you think about it, well, I guess Florida, I guess Howe didn't start on that team last year, but this dude Golden really won a ship and then ran it back with his same exact front court, both starting and backup, and Haug.
Three of those dudes who could have gone at least to the combine or did go to the combine, right?
Yeah,
Michigan's going to be a similar spot. Mara and Merez will be at the combine, but
I'll be there too.
I mean, some numbers are being floated
Yeah,
that would probably make sense to return. Like,
yeah. I mean, did you see this stuff? I mean, you obviously we talked to the same people, so like you heard or seen the stuff like Mara is the one that's I would lean like he's like almost damn near for sure back, and then Merez is a little bit more on the not one way or the other, but that one's a little more up in the air.
yeah. Also, just between you and I, the we talk to the same people thing. What the same people you and I talked to said is confirming some things I've heard elsewhere,
Mm.
which is now making it feel substantiated enough I can have this conversation here. Yeah, I think Michigan thinks Morrow's coming back. And I think they've put a ridiculous offer in front of him that I didn't even know was possible in the rev share era. Like I thought there was like a number limit at a certain point, and yeah. Anyways, um, been told the same offers there for Merez, which if the number I heard is right, I think that's how Golden got like Condon and Haug back for like, oh yeah, easy. One
Hmm.
year and I make that, and then I go to the league. So we'll see. Merez is he could play an NBA playoff game now.
Hmm.
Throw him on Oklahoma City and he'll help them win.
Hmm.
Like I just he doesn't need to prolong this at all,
No, I don't. Not even a second.
but he should.
No, listen, you think I'm joking? I will be boots on the ground with Kevin Sweeney and Woo. That's my group, my crew. They don't know it yet. And I'm gonna be just like, man, that Johnson kid. Like, and people are gonna be, GMs gonna be like, who is this guy in this? Was that a sleeper's crew neck? I'm just be throwing them elbows like, man, that Merez kid. I'd take him top 10.
How much of this is Sweeney's fault for the SI cover curse 3 days before this game?
I'm letting Sweeney off the hook because in the last 7 games, Keaton has been shooting tour dates.
Okay, I'm not letting Sweeney off the hook because Sweeney was one of the loudest people vocalizing that Merez wasn't worth keeping, and that was the right move. And I love you, Kevin Sweeney, but I mean, ha. Thank you. Honestly, thank you. Thank you for your role, Kevin Sweeney, in Merez ending up in my favorite program.
I'll never forgive. Actually, last day, I'll never forgive Brad and them for this because it was selfish in the act was because they only thought of themselves.
They didn't think how it was going to affect you.
They didn't think about anybody else in this scenario and just let this demon walk to Ann Arbor.
um, Brad,
Thanks a
Brad
lot.
seemed Brad seemed to have no animosity to Dusty overall. Did you pick up on anything that? See, he was like they Illinois credit to him. They pump his post game press conference on speakers for everybody to hear in the gym.
Hmm.
He was just like effusive with praise for Michigan, Dusty, everybody involved.
Glad he feels that way.
What?
He approached this like his centers.
Oh, well,
Soft, lash out.
no, remember it's really important to call out when a coach loses with class, as Michigan State fans showed us. They really cared how classy Brad Underwood was when he lost to Michigan State. So I was told everyone hates Dusty May. Brad didn't seem like he hates Dusty May after this one at all.
Everyone hates Dusty May.
Maybe just you and your fan base.
I was gonna say that's not. I think
No,
it's
Purdue. I mean,
there.
Brian
That's
Everett's out here writing on vanity profiles instead of
Yeah,
covering his basketball team.
Matt Painter doesn't hate Dusty May. I think Mick Cronin and Tom Izzo hate Dusty May. That's probably the only two.
Oh, the dinner buddies.
Yeah.
Brad was kind of peripherally in that group, though. We thought Brad's and Tom are friendly at least. But
Yeah.
where's Peja through all of this, by the way?
I've been wondering that.
Yeah. Huh.
Free Ty Rogers.
That's enough of that.